I think that good scientists are nearly always revolutionaries of some sort, and I think that advances in science are generally made by the young, if I'm allowed to call them young rather than early career, because they are generally more creative, they're not hidebound in the same way, they will look at things afresh. So I think the main revolutionaries are our younger colleagues starting out in new projects who are taking new approaches to big issues. So that's where I would look for the revolutionaries. What I think is interesting in biology is the clear complexity that we're dealing with, and I think we've probably underestimated that. We've learnt certain things about how generally life might work, DNA leading to protein and phenotype and so on, but the complexity of how all of that works together is actually really difficult to understand. And I'm beginning to wonder whether that complexity is going to result in non-intuitive explanations, non-intuitive behaviour that isn't in our normal common sense experience of the world. We've seen that in physics with relativity and with quantum mechanics, for example. Maybe the equivalent in biology is complexity and the emergence of non-intuitive ways of thinking about the concepts, which doesn't emerge until you've really got to grips with the complexity. And when we do that, it may move itself a bit outside of our common sense world. I just get concerned that as we have more and more research in biology which adds more and more facts, that we lose the ideas, the principles that underpin how living things work, how living organisms work. And we don't get illumination by just many, many more facts one after another. And what we need, I think, is a different sort of textbook which will extract from all those facts, ideas and principles that underpin how life works and how it operates. And that is going to be more exciting for the student, more illuminating, and then we just have to teach them when they need to have details that they can look it up. We need to have some examples of details, of course, but most of the time they just can look it up. That's what I do, so why can't they? I think that scientists are increasingly worried. I'm not quite sure why they are as worried as they are in some respects, because in fact quite a lot of the issues about careers, whether you're going to be able to make a career, problems with funding and jobs, have been around with us all my life from 1970 onwards. But it seems to be felt more viscerally today. And I think we have to recognise that's the case. And what I think is a responsibility of older researchers such as me is to actually get our younger colleagues to relax more, to actually look at the subject, to be interested in a scholarly way what they're doing, more than perhaps they are now, because they're so worried about their careers all the time that it actually makes it a bit of sometimes a misery for some. And that's such a shame, because it is a very exciting, interesting, creative activity. So a bit of relaxation, a bit of focusing on what you can achieve during the time you have resources, and not constant worrying about what the future may bring. I think the industrial strategy is very important for science, because science is one of the major drivers of the knowledge that we need for an insensible industrial policy. I think the life sciences have focused too much on medicine and biomedicine and have not concentrated on agriculture or biotech more generally. The agricultural industry is very important in the country. The life sciences are all connected, and I think it's a bigger mission that needs to be rectified as soon as possible. I think that the minister responsible, Greg Clark, at the present time for the industrial development, is aware of the problem. I think he's only recently become aware of the issue, because I think the life sciences have been dominated by biomedicine. So I think one is pushing at a door that is now opening. I'm not quite sure why it's not so obvious when you've only got to take a short trip in this country to see how important agriculture is. But I think that they don't realise how much science is contributing to that and how much science will contribute in the future. So there's a real need to get that message across, and I think what's required is a champion really for agricultural bioscience to get it on the agenda, together with other aspects of the life sciences beyond medicine.